The Japanese invasion of Alaska during World War II was a critical, yet often overlooked chapter in the Pacific War. In June 1942, Japanese forces invaded the Aleutian Islands, part of the U.S. territory of Alaska, marking one of the few times foreign troops occupied American soil during the war. This campaign was closely tied to Japan's broader strategy of disrupting Allied operations in the Pacific.
Background.
By 1942, Japan had achieved significant victories across the Pacific. To consolidate their position, Japanese planners aimed to establish a defensive perimeter and divert Allied resources. The Aleutian Islands, a chain stretching over 1,200 miles into the North Pacific, offered a strategic foothold for controlling air and sea routes. The Aleutian campaign was also intended to distract U.S. forces from Japan's main objective, Midway Atoll. As part of this dual operation, the Japanese targeted the Aleutians to draw attention away from their larger offensive, the invasion. On June 3 to 4, 1942, Japanese aircraft bombed Dutch Harbor, a U.S. naval base on Unalaska Island, causing damage but failing to neutralize American defenses. Shortly after, Japanese forces landed on the islands of Attu and Kiska, located at the western end of the Aleutian chain. The Japanese occupation was met with minimal resistance. Attu's small civilian population was captured, and Kiska was evacuated before the Japanese landed. The occupation gave Japan control over key points in the Aleutians, but harsh weather and the remote location limited their strategic value. The U.S. response. The American response to the invasion was initially slow, as resources were prioritized for the Battle of Midway. However, once the Aleutian threat became evident, the U.S. launched a concerted effort to reclaim the islands. From late 1942 to 1943, American forces conducted air raids and naval blockades to weaken Japanese positions. The extreme weather and rugged terrain made operations challenging for both sides, with more casualties attributed to the environment than combat. The Battle for Attu. The most significant engagement occurred in May 1943, when U.S. forces launched an amphibious assault on Attu. The battle was brutal, with Japanese defenders employing tenacious resistance. After nearly 3 weeks of fierce fighting, the island was retaken. The Japanese garrison, facing defeat, launched a suicidal banzai charge, resulting in heavy losses. The recapture of Kiska. Following the victory at Attu, the U.S. prepared to retake Kiska. However, unbeknownst to the Allies, the Japanese had secretly evacuated the island in July 1943. When U.S. forces landed in August, they found no opposition, though the operation resulted in friendly fire incidents due to poor communication. Aftermath and legacy. The Aleutian campaign ended with the complete withdrawal of Japanese forces from Alaska, marking a strategic victory for the Allies. While the campaign did not significantly alter the course of the Pacific War, it underscored the global nature of World War II and highlighted the challenges of warfare in extreme environments. The campaign also had long-term implications for Alaska, as the U.S. military presence in the region expanded significantly. Infrastructure built during the war contributed to Alaska's development, eventually aiding its transition to statehood in 1959. Conclusion. The Japanese invasion of Alaska remains a unique and significant episode in American history. It demonstrated the reach of Japan's Pacific ambitions and the resilience of U.S. forces in overcoming both enemy resistance and environmental hardships. Today, the Aleutian campaign stands as a testament to the strategic importance of the North Pacific during World War II.